Right now in Australia, we stand at a crossroads that many citizens barely realize exists. The recent proposal to ban social media for those under 16 has been presented as a measure of protection. And perhaps on the surface, it is. But too often in history, policies introduced for safety become the foundation for something far larger and far more intrusive than what anyone was told at the beginning. This is why we must look carefully at what this represents. The first stage in a much deeper shift toward a society defined by surveillance, not freedom. Because if this ban is the first stage, then the second is already waiting in the wings. A nationwide digital ID. A system where every Australian is required to link their identity to almost everything they do online. A system where your browsing, your logins, your interactions, your purchases, and your movements could be tied to a single profile. A system where your digital life is no longer private because it is watched, logged, analyzed, and stored. And we are told this is for convenience, for safety, for security. But what happens when a digital identity becomes mandatory for accessing government services, banking, communication platforms, travel, and eventually the entire internet? What happens when the government and every agency connected to it holds a complete map of your online behavior? What happens when that data becomes the most valuable target for cyber criminals in the world? We've already seen major corporations breached. We've seen health records stolen. We've seen the personal information of millions of Australians exposed. Imagine the consequences when it is not just medical records, not just phone numbers, but your entire digital footprint. And after digital ID comes the next major step: central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, programmable money. Money that can be tracked, traced, monitored, profiled, and analyzed in real time. Money that can be switched off, restricted, or redirected. Money that can be controlled through behavioral rules built into its code. A currency where every transaction you make, from what you buy, to when you buy it, to where you buy it, can be monitored by the same system that already tracks your digital identity. And with programmable restrictions, a CBDC could, at least in theory, be designed to allow or block certain purchases, limit spending by category, or operate only within a government-defined geo-fence. We must ask ourselves, is this a future of freedom or a future of control? Is this protection or a quiet shift into a society where privacy is a luxury of the past? Because once every online action and every financial transaction can be seen, stored, and analyzed, once every citizen's behavior is part of a permanent digital profile, once your access to money and even your right to speak freely depend on systems you do not control, then the question becomes, what freedom remains? Our personal choices, how we interact, communicate, and spend, are not the business of the government. Our financial autonomy is not a privilege granted by authorities. It is a human right. It is a cornerstone of democracy. And it is something that must be protected, not quietly surrendered one policy at a time. This is not about left or right. This is not about politics. This is about the future of civil liberties in Australia. If we do not speak up now, if we do not ask the hard questions, then by the time these systems are fully built, it may be too late to challenge them. The battle for privacy is happening today. The battle for freedom will be tomorrow. And the time to defend both is right now.